Hello everybody and welcome to my ward guide. This video will have two major parts, blue and red side warding, and for each we will talk about early game warding, lane warding, mid game warding, and objective and flank control as the support. This guide is also very good for the other roles such as jungle, understanding the thought process of your support and her warding patterns. Blue side, early game. So you start off the game with one trinket ward that most of you guys place way too early and in not very efficient places. I tend to save mine to be able to ward and keep myself and my AD carry safe. There are two places where wards are very useful before your first back. If you are not pushing, make sure you keep river warded. If you are pushing, it means you have lane priority. That will allow you to go into the enemy blue side and ward over the wall to see what camps the enemy jungler has up. This last ward will give you insane information. If the buffs are up, it means he will be coming there soon, aka the ward will see him. If the camps are gone, means either he is there somewhere or he is heading to your mid or top laners. After your first back, you will have your trinket and the control ward. There are two options for your control ward. One, next to your red buff, if your mid laner is facing a roam intense champion, something like LeBlanc, Talon, or Zed, that way you can see them when roaming and preparing to dive you. 2. If you are pushing, the river bush is the perfect spot for a control ward. I strongly disagree to put it in the tri-brush simply because it offers very little vision. If you are getting pushed in but your mid is not facing an assassin, use the red buff ward spot anyway. Most of the time when you get pushed in, you will get tower dove eventually, and that ward protects you from this, giving you the knowledge that this is happening and the time to react. After you stack your support item. So around this time, it's the start of mid-game and the end of laning phase in most cases. You will find yourself enabled to roam around the map as long as your AD carry is farming in a safe spot. So pre-20 minutes, you want to make sure your team takes dragons, especially if you have bot lane priority. Here's the best vision net to set up dragon from blue side. One control ward goes in front of the pit, one ward goes behind their blue buff, and another goes in the blue buff bush. Pay attention to how I position my wards in the bush. If on the other hand you are behind and you want to set up defensive vision in your red quadrant, hoping to catch one of them setting up for dragon, here's the way you can ward. Control ward in the red buff bush, deactivate the wards allowing your jungle to go for the 50-50. Ward the dragon pit, but most importantly make sure you have both jungle entries warded so you know exactly what is going in and out of your jungle. Post 20 minutes, you want to focus on Baron side. Very easy from blue side. Control ward in the pit, aim at the Baron's belly, that way it will cover the entire pit 100%. Walk in the enemy jungle, not by yourself, and place 3 wards as follows. One in the bush in front of the red buff, one next to Raptures, and the last in the red buff side bush. Pop Blast Cone, and you're good to go. This net should allow you to easily pick someone off and from that secure Baron and close out your game. If on the other hand you find yourself in a behind scenario, there are ways to get around this. First and most important, push mid with your team. Once you have entered your jungle, clean their vision, make sure you keep the control ward on you in case they have one in the river and you need vision. Keep places like the bush behind wolves and lane tri-brush warded so they don't collapse on you and your team while you're checking with your faces. And last, ward the small river bush. This type of vision is contest Baron vision. I strongly recommend you do not attempt this by yourself, because if you will die, then the enemy team definitely gets Baron. Red side, early game. Honestly, I like red side more than blues, especially in laning phase, and here's why. My first trinket will be used to ward their tri-brush over the wall. Most junglers path through there to gank, and if you pay attention to the minimap, you have more than enough time to react, especially since most of the junglers are very slow on pulling the trigger on an early gank. After your first back, you got the juicy control ward. Let's see what you can do with that. Well, I genuinely love placing it in the tri-brush behind me. You might call me stupid, but I promise you that ward saved me so many times from dives and ganks from our jungle side. This place is especially good if you are getting pushed in. Your trinket ward can be placed in the river. Make sure it is a bit far from the river bush in case there is a control ward there. you cannot contest, and you don't want your ward to be deactivated. The second option I am giving you guys is when you are pushing your lane and you want to stay as safe as possible. Make sure you put your control ward in the river bush. And the trick hit ward, you walk in the dragon pit and place it over the wall. Like that, you can see their mid laner roaming bot and their jungler. Yes, you will be a bit in the dark if the jungler comes from Grom's side, but you can kindly ask your AD carry, this is for absolute safety, to come and place a ward behind the tribe wall. Warding the actual tribe rush, as I said before, isn't really that useful. After you stack your support item, as I said before, let's talk now about Dragon and Baron control basically. One ahead and behind. Red side has a very easy time with Dragon. This is why I love this side of the map. Control ward in the pit, and then 2 wards are enough in their jungle. Place one in front of their raptor camp and one in their red buff bush. Then pop blast cone and you're set. You save your last ward for the river bush if they decide to contest. If you are not in prime position to contest, make sure you pick one route and leave one ward behind you so you don't get flanked. The safest, in my opinion, is coming from blue buff. Leave a ward over the wall to protect your rear and walk in the river with your team. Place the control ward down to see exactly where they are and what they are doing. Make sure you light up that river like a Christmas tree, so if a fight breaks out, your team has all of the options available to them. Now it's post 20 minutes, so it's time to talk about Baron vision. When ahead, just walk in the river with your jungler, place control ward in the pit, and walk into their jungle and ward as follows. 1 ward behind wolves, 1 ward in their blue buff brush, and 1 over the wall to pop blast cone. After this is done, bait for your pick, and enjoy the Baron buff. When behind, well, this is when it sucks because red side Baron is actually annoying to deal with. Make sure you place a control ward in your red buff brush. It will deny vision on the back of the pit, allowing your jungler to go for the 50-50. Make sure pit has vision when he does. Also make sure both jungle entries are warded, so if it does get messy, it doesn't get so messy that you threw the game. General tips and tricks and flank warding. Tips and tricks. 1. Whenever you are sweeping Dragon or Baron, make sure you sweep the entire river. There are 2 spots for wards that people keep forgetting about. One is on the Baron Dragon wall, allows them to see if you started it, and the second is glued to the wall opposite the pit. 2. If you have a control ward in the pit, do not hit any wards, exceptions are control wards obviously, that are placed, especially if you started the objective. It will give vision, and most importantly, vision of the objective's HP, making it easier for them to try to contest it. 3. Before face checking as a squishy support, you can either use one of your long range skills or use your sweeper and it will show you their silhouettes. Flank warding is apparently something I have been asked about recently a lot, so here is my view on the topic. If you are into a team comp that wants to flank you, or that has done it to you once but you want it to never happen again, make sure you buy an extra control ward that you hold in your bag and you always have a minimum of 2 wards. Flanking happens whenever your team is sieging or grouping or being sieged, and here is genuinely up to your common sense to know this is coming, because they won't sit as 5 in front of you, they will sit as 3 or 4 and 1 will be missing or not present on either side of the map, so be ready for the collapse. Best way to make it efficient is tell your team you are warding around them, and if they push past the vision barrier and they die, it's on them. Make sure the control ward is placed near you so you can contest any vision they try to sneak past. The other wards, make sure they are over walls and in weird places. If you are against good players, they will keep the important bushes with control wards to deny any sort of vision. Thank you all for watching, and of course to my editor Cody. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe one too. Why not? If you have any questions, leave a comment below and I will do my best to be as active as possible in the comment section. Enjoy preseason!